my name is Ashley Scher. I'm the founder and CEO of ShareLove.Fund. Today we are in week 8 of our RYT 200 Registered Yoga Teacher 200-hour Yoga Alliance course. We're going to start at 9:30. This is live on YouTube. We will start in 2 minutes. So we'll just gather now. I will also say while we're gathering that I encourage you all to email yoga@ShareLove.Fund to teach for a cause. Like I am, I'm volunteering today and I'm teaching for a cause. We are a nonprofit that provides free yoga degrees to high school leaders and incarcerated women, and we depend on our volunteer yoga teachers like myself to teach for a cause. So I'll give everyone a minute to gather, grab your water bottles, whatever you need. We'll start in 2 minutes at 9:30. Okay, everyone, it is 9:30. We will get ready to start. Grab your water bottle, grab whatever you need. This is the RYT 200 Registered Yoga Teacher Training 200-hour course, turning civilians into yoga teachers. So let's get started. So as usual, I will provide the class agenda. So this is an hour-and-a-half class, and it has 3 parts. We are going to start with part 1. For 30 minutes, it's going to be mindfulness, the first 30 minutes. The second 30 minutes is going to be the technique section, because this is not just a workout today. It's actually training you to be an empowered leader, strong on the mat, strong in life. You are training to be a yoga teacher today. So the second 30 minutes will be technique. And the third 30 minutes will be the actual practice, because we want everyone working out and feeling good with a great workout today. Each 30-minute section will be broken into 3 more sections, each 10 minutes in length. So this 90-minute class or hour-and-a-half class will be in 9 10-minute sections. I will put up cue cards for each section. That way, folks watching on demand later can go back and forth and just really use these materials as a buffet that we offer, selecting exactly what you need in the moment you need it. So to help you navigate later, I'm just gonna hold this up for a second, 10-minute centering. So we'll do the 10-minute centering starting now. I just wanna make that big 10-minute centering. Okay, so let's start. So for our 10-minute centering, I'm gonna share with you this Tao proverb, and for the visual learners, I'm just gonna bring it right up here. So this is the Tao proverb. So let me read this aloud. When in the arena, yield not to an aggressor. When outside the arena, affirm compassion. So I'm going to read that again, but now, for the visual learners. Okay. When in the arena, yield not to an aggressor. when outside the arena, affirm compassion. So why are we talking about this today? Well, today is week 8, and each week we have a pose of the week. Part of the SHARE method, 45 key signature poses. Why do we have this method? This method was developed for incarcerated women so that even if they were illiterate, they could become confident yoga teachers. What we do with our method is we reduce the scope of yoga and we drill it down through repetition. This is not a yoga method. This is not a method of how to do the pose. This is a method of how to provide vocational training in a manner that doesn't require literacy through repetition. And so what we provide is free vocational training degrees for incarcerated women at Rikers Island. So anyway, as part of our method, we're in week 8, and our pose of the week is reverse warrior. And this proverb talks about when in the arena, yield not to the aggressor. So we can think of the ancient gladiator days, and we can think of reverse warrior. So reverse warrior is like warrior 2, but your hand is up and you're looking up. So it's almost like a soulful warrior. Some people call this peaceful warrior, reverse warrior, or peaceful warrior. You're still a warrior, but you're looking up. So this pose really hits home for me with this quote, because when in the arena, yield not to the aggressor. Kind of like sometimes you need to be a warrior. When outside of the arena, affirm compassion. Now, when you're outside of the arena and you're affirming compassion, do you need to be a sap? Do you need to be a sloppy mess? What if when you're outside of the arena, confirming passion, you're like a peaceful warrior. You're still in control and calm and contained. You're still strong. People know not to mess with you. People know you have boundaries. But you're open. You're looking up. There's like a spiritual component, almost. A humility, because the head is looking up. It's like a humility. The second part of this says, when outside the arena, affirm compassion. It's pretty hard to be compassionate and arrogant at the same time. So being compassionate implies a sense of humility. Peaceful warrior, looking up. By looking up, we're acknowledging that we're beneath. And that is a way to demonstrate physically with our bodies humility and compassion. So I think of this Tao proverb, and I'll repeat it again because we are a school based in repetition. So love us or hate us, we know who we are. When in the arena, yield not to the aggressor. So this is our warrior 2. When outside the arena, affirm compassion. And it's also interesting, the word affirm. It doesn't say, go out and deplete yourself feeding the homeless. It just says, affirm compassion. Kind of like, be compassionate in the place and the moment that you are. Use compassion in the opportunities that present themselves to be compassionate, not necessarily change your whole schedule to, it's not saying quit your job. It's just saying when there's an opportunity to be compassionate, you can concur with that compassion. You can affirm it. You can agree with it. Now let's talk about when in the arena, yield not to the aggressor. So this idea is that being a warrior doesn't necessarily mean being ruthless. It just means not necessarily giving way. If you have an agenda, then it's nice to stay focused. It's also nice to be open-minded because sometimes your idea is not the best idea. And we can learn something from everyone, even if we're learning what not to do from them. So the idea is that we can use concentration and awareness, discipline, both in the arena, but also use that same concentration and awareness and discipline outside the arena to show compassion. Why? Because even being compassionate doesn't mean being a sap, like we said, even being compassionate requires strength, requires knowing your place. It's a humility. But with peaceful warrior, as some people call it, or we call it reverse warrior, and the share method, just to keep it simple so people kind of know, warrior, reverse, like back it up. We're big on using different ways of learning. But even in reverse warrior, peaceful warrior, it requires concentration and awareness looking up. Now, being creative and solving a problem as peacefully as possible is not necessarily yielding to your opponent. So there's a difference between kind of being a sap. I'm just using that word a lot today, I don't know. There's a difference between that, which if your heart is not in it, it can lead to resentment and passive aggressive behavior. There's a difference between that and not fighting unnecessary battles. So if there is an obstacle, you can be creative, try to circumvent it. So I just want to kind of go through the rest of my notes. Use concentration and awareness to compete, to perfect yourself even in the realm of compassion, and the discipline required to be a warrior or a sage is very similar. It's both requires concentration and awareness. So anyway, I will just put this up again so folks can see it more clearly, and we will wrap that up. So now let's go on to our 10 minutes of breath work. I'm just gonna hold this up as a marker for a second. 10 minutes of breath work. We're gonna start that now. Putting this as a marker because 90 minutes is a little bit brutal to go through. So the mindfulness stuff is green, the technique stuff is purple, and the practice stuff is orange. So that is another way you can more quickly scroll through these videos. All of our teacher training material, or a lot of it, is on YouTube accessible, and the idea is that you are a continuing learner. You're always part of the ShareLove.Fund family. We want our materials that served you to be accessible to you as you continue your career as teacher trainees, as teachers really, because you'll graduate, or maybe you'll never actually teach yoga, but maybe it could be useful to you, or maybe you know a friend who can benefit from it, and you can send them the link and say, hey, look for the purple marker in techniques, and that will help you. So the idea is that together we are stronger, and by making our information free and accessible and in the public domain, we can all build on each other's past work and make better work. I don't want to be the most successful yoga company. I want yoga schools to be able to create the best teachers possible as efficiently as possible. And the way we do that is by sharing information. So we're a charity. Our purpose is not profit. Our purpose is, my personal passion is curriculum development, and our purpose is really second chances. Second chances for incarcerated women so that we can end recidivism, which has raised 800% since 1980, and also my other passion in our organization builds high school leaders. So we invest in youth and women, and we invest in them through a yoga teaching degree, because what we found out is the same skills on this mat apply to the boardroom, apply to the classroom, even apply to relationships. And that's how we believe that we can build a better society, by giving those who need second chances, and then by giving those who haven't started really yet the best footing forward. So without further ado, let's start our breath work. Please take a comfortable seated position. If it feels more comfortable, you can be standing or in a chair. And let's just start to breathe. So let's use our arms a little bit to warm up. So we'll breathe, inhaling our arms up, and exhaling, leaning to the side. And inhaling long and strong, and exhaling our arms to the side. Now, if it's more comfortable to breathe a bit deeper and slower, please feel free. We'll inhale, our arms up, separate and parallel, and exhale, dropping our shoulders down. Inhale, pulling the crown of our head up, and exhale like a backstroke. Inhale, inhale, arms up, and exhale, rainbow to the side. Inhale, reach, 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 and exhale, let it go. Inhale, reach, 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 and exhale, let it go. Keeping the back long with the back wall. Inhale, reach, 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 reach. Exhale, let it go. On a big inhale, rainbow the arms to the other side. Inhale, reach, 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 reach. Exhale. Inhale, reach, reach, reach. Exhale. Inhale, reach, reach, reach. Exhale. Bringing the arms back again. Big inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Let's bring one leg over the other. Inhale, arms up. And exhale, we'll do a twist. Inhale and exhale. Try to go a little deeper in your twist. Inhale and exhale, going a little deeper in the twist. What are we doing here? This is using breath with movement. We're using our exhale to go deeper into the stretch. And that's what yoga is. It's connecting breath with movement. Inhale and exhale. You can shake it out. And we'll do it on the other side. A big advantage of yoga is that we can be symmetrical and that we can work out the kinks caused by asymmetries in our body from our daily activities, which are asymmetrical. One of the biggest shockers to me as a teacher was when I was training collegiate swimmers, because I said, oh, swimming is symmetrical like yoga. And they said no, that they have a favored breathing side and that their neck is really tight. So, and then our tennis players is really asymmetrical, and our snowboarders, there's, you know, like you sort of have like a big muscle here and a big muscle here, or the opposite with the calves and thighs. So anyway, this is an opportunity to sort of work out those asymmetries. So bring your other leg across and sort of see how this feels. Are you equally tight on both sides of your hips or not? Inhale the arms up and exhale. Inhale and exhale, a little deeper into the stretch. Inhale and exhale, a little deeper into the stretch. Inhale and exhale. a little deeper in the stretch. Coming back, inhaling, and let's put our feet together like butterfly. And you can give yourself a little foot massage. Try to peel open your feet like a book. Oh, what are we reading here? And inhale the knees up and exhale the knees down. If your nose is stuffed, then obviously breathe however you need to breathe. But let's try to breathe in the nose and out the mouth. And we can bring our knees up. Inhale and exhale through the mouth. Inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth. For our teacher trainees that are a little less well-versed with yoga and a little concerned, how can I ever master yoga and how can I ever be a yoga teacher? I just want to ask you this. Would you benefit from this class if I was doing all this crazy yoga stuff and all this fancy breathing techniques? No, that would be overwhelming because you already feel overwhelmed. So, making it simple, inhaling the knees up, exhaling the knees down, inhaling the knees up, exhaling the knees down, that may be meeting you right where you are. And can you imagine that if you are a student and you feel this way, that there may be many other students that feel this way? So my point is that if you feel overwhelmed and you just want to keep it really basic, guess what? You're still going to be a great teacher because there's a whole sea of people who also feel overwhelmed and just really want to keep it basic. So what I tell my students, and our graduates that are watching this may laugh and know this, but I say, if you don't know what else to do, then make the class that meets your needs, because then that's from the heart, and there's going to be someone who's going to connect with that. And guess what? Not every class is going to be the best class for every person, and that's why people have options. That's why I say this is a buffet. Take what you want. That's why we have marker cards. You know, we don't need to cram information down people. We can offer information, and when the time is right, people can take what they need. And when the time is not right, then let's have compassion for them and not want to waste their time. Anyway, with that, we take a big exhale of all that doesn't serve us, and we move on to our next section. So our next section is a 10-minute meditation. I'm just going to bring this card closer, and I'm just going to hold it for a second. It always surprises me. I always feel like I'm holding it for a long time, but then on the scroll, people say that they didn't see it. So 10-minute meditation starting now. Okay, so let's do it. So if you want to sit down on the floor, that's great. If you're in the office and you're in a chair, that's fine. If you want to put in some ear pods and walk, you could do that too. This is a breath awareness meditation, so you don't need to be falling asleep here. So anyway, thank you so much for our graduate who made this beautiful folder, by the way. We just are so lucky to have so many creative people doing really cool things for us. So, okay, without further ado, come to a comfortable seated position. You can be lying on your back, sitting in a chair, or even walking. Take a moment to get comfortable here and begin to focus on the natural rhythm of your breath. Inhale slowly and smoothly, allowing the breath to travel deeply into the low belly. Pause and exhale slowly and smoothly, releasing the breath from the body through your nostrils or out your mouth. Now take a moment to make any last minute adjustments. so that your body can remain as comfortable as possible throughout this practice. Feel the breath flowing in and out slowly. Soften your face and jaw to allow the breath to flow smoothly in and smoothly out. Let your entire body feel relaxed and weighted, heavy and secure. Now slowly come to the sound of my voice. Continue to breathe and let any distracting thoughts float away from you. Breathe in through your nose and out through your nose or mouth. Allow your breath to find its own natural rhythm. Bring your full attention to the sensations of each inhale as the air enters your nostrils, travels through your lungs, and causes your belly to expand. Take time to notice each exhale as your body contracts and air moves up through the lungs, back up and exits through your nose or mouth. Invite your full attention to flow with your breath and notice all the associated sensations in every area of your body. Notice how the inhale is different from the exhale. You may experience the air as cool as it enters your nose and warms you as you exhale. As you turn more deeply inward, begin to let go of the distractions around you. If they become a distraction at any point, simply notice them and then bring your attention back to your breath. Observe and accept your experience in this moment without judgment, paying attention to each inhale and exhale. If your mind wanders to thoughts, plans, or problems, simply notice your mind wandering. Observe the thought as it enters your awareness as neutrally as possible. Then practice letting go of the thought as if it were a fluffy cloud passing across your view of the sky. In your mind, place each thought that arises on a cloud and watch as it floats out of your view. Then bring your attention back to your breath. Your breath is meant to function as the anchor that you may return to over and over again when you become distracted by your thoughts. Notice when your mind has wandered. Observe the thoughts that hook or distract you. Noticing is the richest part of learning. With this knowledge, you can strengthen your ability to detach from thoughts and mindfully focus your awareness back on the quality melodies of your breath. Practice coming home to the breath with your full attention, watching the gentle rise of your stomach on the in-breath and the relaxing and letting go on the out-breath. Letting go on the out-breath, allow yourself to completely surrender, complete consciousness with your breath as it flows in and out. You might become distracted by pain or discomfort in the body, a twitching or an itching, sensations that draw your attention away from the breath. You may also notice feelings arising, perhaps sadness or happiness, frustration or contentment. Acknowledge whatever comes up, including thoughts or stories about your experience. Simply notice where your mood and mind are going without judging it, without pushing it away, without clinging to it or wishing it were different. And simply refocus your mind and guide your attention back to your breath. Breathe in and breathe out. Follow the air all the way in and all the way out. Mindfully be present moment by moment with your breath. If your mind wanders away from your breath, just notice it without judging it. Be it a thought, emotion, or sensation that hooks your attention, and gently guide your awareness back to your breathing. As this practice comes to an end, slowly allow your attention to expand and notice your entire body. And then beyond your body to the room you are in. When you are ready, open your eyes and come back fully alert and awake. So as you sort of revitalize and come back to your senses, I will do my markers. I know I'm a broken record, but that's our method. So now we're in the purple section, or lavender, violet. You tell me, and you can comment on Teachable. That's our first source of comments. You're also welcome to comment on YouTube, but we are a charity, so we don't spend money on admin, and the limited admin we do need to, our board of directors kindly pays for. So we prioritize our comments in Teachable for the enrolled students, which may be on scholarship, so it's not just a money thing. But anyway, but you're welcome to comment either place. So now we start, so we finished our first half hour, which was the mindfulness section. Now we're starting our second half hour, which is the technique section, so lavender. This 30-minute section is broken into 3 parts because all our sections are 10 minutes. Sort of drive-through yoga, fast food degrees, cost-effective fast food degrees. Okay, so we will start with the first 10 minutes, which is pose of the week, which is reverse warrior. The second 10 minutes is a sequence of the week. We are going to do our sun salutation sequence, sun salutation A. That's like our plain salad dish. We've learned 2 spices so far for that salad dish. Warrior 2, which we did last week in week 7, and now reverse warrior, which we're doing this week in week 8. So we're going to spice up our sun salutation with those 2 poses, and Next week, we'll add another pose and so forth. And that's how people who are illiterate can learn our method because, for example, in our incarcerated women's program, our 45 poses are divided among a pose a week. So that's 45 weeks. We teach 9 poses, and then we have a review week where we insert those 9 poses into Sun Salutation A. So every 10th week of class is a review week. And so then the 9 poses make 5, the 45 poses make 5 sequences. So that is 5 review weeks. We also have the sequence of Sun Salutation A, and we also have our warm-up sequence, so that's 7 sequences. And then we also encourage students to make their own sequence, so that's 8 sequences. So folks that graduate with 8 sequences. So that's a mouthful, it will come together at the end. Anyway, we'll do our sequence of the week, and then we end with our 10-minute cumulative review. Since we're only in week 8, our cumulative review looks a lot like our sequence of the week, and it's gonna look like that until we get into week 13, where we have our second sequence to work on. So anyway, without further ado, it'll make more sense when I do it. So, okay, so sorry, that was the overview, but here, now is the marker card. It's live, so come on, give me some wiggle room to flounder. Okay, pose of the week. Pose of the week is reverse warrior. We will spend this 10-minute section on that. And also a big thank you to our graduate inaugural class who did this black and red logo in our first year. And I don't know if you guys can see it, but it says, strong back, soft front, wild heart, just be you, Brene Brown. And we are trying to get $10 a month donors. And we found that the easiest way to get them is to offer free merch. So I have about 200 of these mugs in my attic that I'd love to unload. So please be a $10 a month donor. Email donate@ShareLove.Fund at ShareLove.Fund and let them know. And if you're local, I'll see if I can drop off a mug. We really cannot ship the mug because that would basically cost $10. So the cool thing about being a $10 a month donor is that every dollar that you part with really is used for awesome things. But on the flip side, you are not going to see paper mailings from ShareLove.Fund or free calendars or anything like that that waste donor dollars. And so, you're not going to get a lot of that kind of stuff, but you're going to get a whole lot of appreciation. Okay, so we are talking about the pose of the week. So the pose of the week, let's talk about how to get into it. So you can, Tadasana is sort of like every yoga teacher's favorite pose. It's where we all start. It seems really simple, mountain pose, standing, but there's a lot more to it because when you're actually engaged, zipping it up, tightening the abs, squeezing the glutes, pulling out the thighs, squeezing in, like shoulders back, chin level. When you're actually in Tadasana correctly, everything else is easy. So from Tadasana, you can step 1 foot back, and then we are sort of going towards warrior 2. Front leg forward. Now, you can widen your stance if you need to create balance. Again, the share method is not a yoga method. This is a way to just feel confident. It's more, honestly, a focus on sequencing and just knowing enough information to teach a class, whether you do those poses as a purist with Ashtanga, or you like Strala, or whatever, how you implement it is up to you. We're just trying to teach you the basics, and then the sky's the limit for you. Okay, so how to get into reverse warrior. You can start in Tadasana. step back into warrior two. For warrior two, to get the shoulders down, you can lift your palms up and then down. Soft gaze over your back fingers and over your front. Warrior two has your gaze looking forward. And then reverse warrior, you inhale and you can kind of like reach out and then come back. Arm is up, but we don't want to tense the shoulder, and the head is looking at the hand. Zipping up. You can kind of feel what that feels like. Exhale. Come back to warrior two. So when you're practicing reverse warrior, you can kind of do a warrior two, shimmy, lean out, and come up. Now yoga is all about symmetry, so let's do that on the other side. Let's come up, pointing our toes forward. Arms up, inhale, and forward fold just to shake it out. You can pedal out the knees a little bit. We don't want to get any injuries. Slowly roll up vertebrae by vertebrae. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, warrior two on the other side. To decrease the tension in our shoulders, palms up, palms down. Soft gaze over the back hand, soft gaze over the front hand. Lean forward and reverse warrior, our pose of the day. So looking up, soft gaze on the hand. This is not like a dump. You're not really supporting yourself with this back arm. You're really trying to support yourself with this. So those of you who have had kids or just feel like you need more kind of pelvic floor oomph, we offer a YSAP, prenatal, postnatal boot camp, on demand, self-paced. You can find it at ShareLove.Fund/train. And that's really what we're trying to do, is engage the core. Exhale, and we can shimmy our legs back in. So that is the pose of the week. So now let's get moving with our sequence of the week. Okay, sequence of the week. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do our sun salutation A with the two poses that we are adding into the sequence. The sequence is ultimately going to have 3 more poses that we haven't seen yet because we're only in week 8. We're going to get the final pose in week 11, and week 12 will be a review week with the full sequence. So let's start that. Okay, but basically we're going to add warrior 2 and reverse warrior into the sequence. Before the sequence, we're going to talk about Sukhasana, which was our first pose of the 45 key poses. And then we did that in week 3. Then cat-cow, which we learned together in week 4. The second pose of our 45 key poses, Tadasana, which we did in week 5. The third of our share method key poses, and forward fold, which we did in week 6. The fourth of the share method poses. Then we did warrior 2 and reverse warrior. So anyway, this is the sequence of the week so far. So what is the point of doing the sequence of the week? The point is that we teach the lowest common denominator, and in doing that, we found that people want to graduate having done some sequences literally 52 weeks in a row, because they feel like they know it in their sleep, and that makes them not nervous to teach. And a lot of our population needs a livelihood that respects their mind, body, and soul. And the cool thing is that you can teach for a cause. I won't do my cue card because that will just be really confusing to the video volunteers. But basically, you can have a criminal record and teach for a cause. I mean, as long as you have an iPhone and you can record, it doesn't matter. and we're also huge on second chances. So this yoga teaching degree thing has actually turned wards of the state into tax-paying citizens, and that doesn't just change that one life, that changes the lives of their children, because most incarcerated women are mothers, and that changes all of our lives because it makes where we live a safer place. So it's pretty awesome. So anyway, now we're doing the sequence of the week, okay? I've already said this, but the sequence of the week is missing 3 poses, because those 3 poses you're gonna get in week 9, week 10, and week 11. Okay, so we're 3 weeks short of seeing the whole picture. Week 12, you will have the full sequence. Why do we do it this way? Because it's like the memory game. It's like, this week we're gonna do like everything we've reviewed plus 1 pose, which is reverse warrior. And the next week we'll do everything again to really cement it in, plus another pose. So we just add 1 pose a week, and then every 10th week we do a cumulative review to really cement it in. So that's our method based on repetition. Anyway, and then it's a little confusing, but I'm just gonna say the cumulative reviews or the sequences fall on weeks ending in a 2. So week 2, we did Sun Salutation A, and then week 12, we'll do this cumulative review. Week 22, 32, 42, and 52, our final week, you'll do the final sequence. Okay, without further ado. So this is our sequence of the week, but it's incomplete. Okay, we start in Tadasana. So we can just practice like being a yoga teacher. Okay, everybody, let's take a comfortable seat on the mat. Please put your palms on your knees, and let's take 3 breaths here. Inhale your arms up, and exhale, come to table with knees hip width apart, hands under your shoulders. Draw your belly button down and your chin up for cow, and exhale, drawing the center of your spine up for cat. Using your breath, do a few more cat-cows at your own pace to warm up your spine. If you feel wobbly, you can curl your toes under for extra support. From cat, curl your toes under and push up, walk your feet forward, and slowly roll up vertebrae by vertebrae to Tadasana. From Tadasana, exhale and do a forward fold. From your forward fold, again, come up slowly vertebrae by vertebrae. That is our warm-up. So the warm-up went from easy seat, cat-cow, Tadasana, forward fold. I'm just gonna show this. Sorry, it's kind of messy, but basically, and thank you to our students who made this for me. So we're super low tech, but that's our warm-up. Is this the best warm-up that's ever touched the world of yoga? I would think not, but this is a warm-up that everybody can feel confident doing. And as I tell my teachers, the bigger the mistake, the bigger the smile. So my point is not to, our point is to make degrees accessible. And frankly, your students don't necessarily care if they go to the best class. Your students care about how invested their teacher is in them. So if you are focused on your student and listening to their needs and responding instead of reacting, you're gonna be better for them than them going to some guru that doesn't know their name. So anyway, that's what we just did here. So we have done the sequence of the week, the warm-up part. Now we're gonna continue the sequence of the week. Okay, so continuing the sequence of the week. Sorry, I have you guys got to see the behind the scenes. Okay, so continuing the sequence of the week, now we go straight into the sun salutation. So we're here, the first pose of the sun salutation, mountain pose. Inhale, arms up, upward salute. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half bend. Exhale, left leg back. Right leg back. Plank. From plank, we do knees, chest, chin. From knees, chest, chin, we come up to Cobra, baby Cobra. From baby Cobra, we push up to down dog. In down dog, this is the middle of our sun salutation. Now what I'm going to show you is not sun salutation A, but this is our sequence of the week. So we spice up sun salutation A by adding 2 poses so far. Left leg in, step it forward, engage your stomach so it's tight. Come up to warrior 2. This is the pose we did last week. Inhale, reach it out, reverse warrior. Sometimes people call it peaceful warrior. This is our pose of the week. Our proverb of the week says, when in the arena, yield not to the aggressor. You can think of warrior 2. When outside the arena, affirm compassion. We can think of reverse warrior. Exhale, windmill the hands around, left leg back, push back up to down dog. It's like it never happened before. We are back in our sun salutation, minding our own business. Inhale, left knee in, step it forward, the other leg. Exhale, slowly roll forward. We're gonna do it on the other side so that it's symmetrical. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half bend. Exhale, right leg back, left leg back. Plank. From plank, knees, chest, chin. From knees, chest, chin, baby cobra. From baby cobra, down dog. From down dog, right knee in, step it forward. We insert our 2 poses. Warrior 2. Reverse warrior. Windmill the arms around. Exhale, back to downward dog. Just like we're doing same old sun salutation. Inhale, right knee in, step it forward. Left leg comes to meet. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, slowly roll up vertebrae by vertebrae. Arms up to upward salute and down. So we did that. Now we do our 10-minute section, the share method cumulative review. Because we only have one sequence, because we are in our first 12 weeks, our cumulative review is literally just what we did. So we don't have a cumulative review beyond our sequence of the week. So, because our sequence of the week isn't even complete. So this week 9, week 10, week 11, and even week 12, our cumulative review is gonna be exactly what I just did. So we're gonna do it again. Why do we repeat? Because our method was developed during COVID for incarcerated women so that they could have a degree that respects their mind, body, and soul, regardless of their education or ability levels. So our method is based on repetition. Does that work for 99% of the population in our course, in our paid customers? Not really. So that's why we have markers. A lot of folks, they appreciate the markers and they watch this on demand and forward as it suits them. We are also constantly striving to improve. So please let us know, give us feedback we do really need to stay true to our mission, and that is to teach this in a way that really appeals to a wide range of learning differences. So, but you know what, we're happy to listen to your feedback and brainstorm with you, and we really welcome that, so we can make it better. I just also want to be careful that changes that we do make are inclusive. So anyway, so we'll start from the beginning. We'll just do that warm up again. So we'll pretend we're doing a class. So you can say, hey everyone, let's turn off your cell phones and take a seat, as if you're starting class. And this is also a good time to ask people if they have a medical condition, and let people know that if they are uncomfortable in any way, they can come to child's pose, or they can stop, and that yoga shouldn't hurt. Nothing herein, you can also give a medical disclaimer, nothing herein shall be construed as medical advice. On YouTube, it's great because there's a transcript, so you can copy paste whatever serves you and use that as a little speech. A lot of yoga teachers, they actually find it's just easier to not have a plan so they can be receptive to their students. And that's another reason why repetition really makes great teachers, because it helps you get off script faster. So anyway, let's take a few breaths together in easy seat. Inhaling through the nose and out the mouth. Inhaling through the nose and out the mouth. Here in easy seat is also an opportunity where you can introduce other things. For example, we did rainbowing arms earlier. We did a twist earlier. So you can spice it up. The reason why we have 45 poses and not 1,000 poses to learn is because with this one pose easy seat, you get easy seat, you get rainbow arms, you can also get easy seat forward fold, walking the hands to the side, you can get a twist, you can also get alternate nostril breathing, so using sort of the thumb and the fourth finger, close one nostril, breathe in, close that nostril, release the other one, breathe out. You can also talk about putting your palms on your knees or having your palms up to be more receptive. We've also talked about head clocks or head nods, nodding your head yes, nodding your head no for a stretch. So this one pose easy seat, if you wanted to, you probably could think of 100 different variations. So that's why you don't really need more than the 45 poses to have an infinite number of possibilities. And for those that want more, you know, the internet's an amazing thing. So, and also our RYT 300 has all 84 hatha yoga poses for a more comprehensive learning. Anyway, so from easy seat, let's take a few breaths. We'll ground our hands downward on our knees, and we'll take 3 breaths. When you feel ready, inhale, your arms up, and come down to table. From table, let's do some cat-cow, and really just try to stretch in a way that feels good. You can pull one hip out, keeping your arms straight, and lean to the other side. I call this around the world. You can kind of rotate one way or another. Drawing your belly button down, and then up, down, and then up. Curling the toes under, pushing up kind of into bear. This is a strengthening pose. Walking your hands forward, slowly coming up vertebrae to vertebrae, vertebrae by vertebrae. Rolling the shoulders back, engaging the abs. Mountain pose. Exhale, forward fold. Holding on opposite elbows, just letting it hang. You can pedal out one knee and then the other. And slowly coming up vertebrae by vertebrae. Now we finished our warm-up. Let's go into the sun salutation A with our spiced up 2 extra poses. Tadasana, upward salute. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half bend. Exhale, left leg back, right leg back. Plank, knees, chest, chin. Baby Cobra. Down dog. Down dog, normally in a sun salutation, you would go from down dog to, you would go to down dog to forward fold, half bend, upward salute, and Tadasana. But we're not going to do that because we're going to spice it up. Inhale, left leg in, step it forward. Warrior 2, reverse warrior. Exhale, bring it around. Left leg back to down dog, like it never happened. Left leg up, step it through. Forward fold, inhale, half bend. Exhale, all the way up. Upward salute, Tadasana. Now we'll do it on the other side. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half bend. Exhale, right leg back, left leg back. Plank. Knees, chest, chin. Baby Cobra. Down dog. Now we spice up our boring salad, sun salutation. We'll add a tomato. We'll call it right knee in, step it forward. So the warrior 2 can be the tomato, and the reverse warrior could be the cucumber. So we just spiced up our sun salutation A salad with a tomato, warrior 2, a cucumber, reverse warrior, windmill the hands around, step it back to down dog. We're back in our ordinary salad. Inhale, right knee in, step it forward, left leg forward, exhale, forward fold, inhale, half bend, exhale, slowly come up vertebrae by vertebrae, and Tadasana. So that wraps that up. So now you guys have done all the hard work and we get to do the fun part. So now we get to do the practice. So the practice counts for your practicum hours. The RYT 200 is required to have 50 practicum hours where you actually just practice. You can't imagine how many people we trained that I spent so much time in the beginning of my career making yoga teachers, turning anyone wards of the state into confident yoga teachers and tax-paying citizens. In the beginning, I focused so much on the technical, and then in the end, I was like, okay, now you're ready to teach. And one student said, but Ashley, I've never taken a yoga class. I'm like, oh my God, we spent 1,000 hours on minutia. Let's actually do a class. So, you know, in an ordinary teacher training, we can say, go on YouTube or go attend 5 classes, but incarcerated women, they don't have the internet. So, they don't have that opportunity. They're isolated. So anyway, so let's give you the treat of a real class now. So to start our real class, we're going to do a 10-minute warm-up, okay? So 10-minute warm-up for our class. We'll do a warm-up, the core, which is the meat, the heart of the matter, but also we're always going to focus on the core because I really believe in it. And then we'll do a cool down. So we'll do a warm-up that's a little different from the warm-ups we did. So let's take a comfortable seated position. Then we'll take a few breaths just to catch our breath. You can put your head side to side, roll your shoulders back. Now you can bring your hands to the mat or just let them hang. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, let it all drop down. Walk your hands to one side and really feel the back stretch. Inhale the arms up, rainbow arms, and see if you feel any different from when we did this in the beginning of class. You'll feel the tension in your tightest point. Rainbow the arms to the other side. And coming down, walking the hands around, really stretching the side body. Walking the hands to the front and slowly warming up. So we warmed up our upper torso a lot, but now let's warm up our legs more. So let's come to low lunge, but here we'll kind of go into lizard and just really stretch the side body, bringing our elbows down. Shaking out the tension in the neck. Kind of moving a little side to side. From here, you can bend your knee in, and we'll go into pigeon. Really just trying to stretch this big, large muscle without holding tension in the shoulders or back. Pointing the toe back, feeling long and strong. From here, we'll bring our leg around to double pigeon. So double pigeon, we're going to stack our feet, one on top of another. Just taking a few breaths to really let our hips fall into it. So for a lot of people, this is really easy. For me, my hips are really tight. So, we'll have the range of people with a leg up here and then people saying, wait, what am I supposed to be doing? Because this doesn't feel like anything. If this doesn't feel like anything for you, so it doesn't waste your time, you can walk your hands forward or do more rainbow so you get something out of it. Inhale the arms up. Clasp your hands together and point to one side. Lifting up and over. And exhale, pointing to the other side. Bringing this other leg around so that we do pigeon on the other side to be symmetrical. The idea is that this leg will be perpendicular if you can, but not everyone can do it. I cannot do it, so my leg comes in more. And we just go forward, really stretching out this glute of the bent leg, keeping the tension out of our shoulders. Now these are stubborn muscles, so we kind of have to keep it for a while to really get the stretch and get warmed up. See if your body naturally can fall into it. Try to use your breath to imagine your breath as a bubble, expanding the area and then letting it contract. From here, we'll bring both legs back to our knees, and we'll really just do a Cobra, rolling our shoulders back, stretching out the whole front body, lifting our neck up. To up dog, lifting our hips and pelvis, engaging the back. Pushing back to down dog. Coming down to our knees to downward puppy. really stretching. Downward puppy, which is not an official pose, but it feels so good. Walking the hands to one side, we're really stretching that whole side for a minute. You can kind of kick a hip out to really get a deeper stretch on your side. Walking the hands over. We'll stretch the other side and really kicking this hip out to get stretch on the other side. Again, you'll feel it in your tightest point, and that can change by holding these poses. You might start to feel it, let's say, in your underarm or in your side body. And then after you hold it a little bit, you may feel it somewhere else. Also be aware of where in your body you feel it, and if that feeling is the same on each side, and what you might be doing in your daily activities if it's not. We'll come back to downward puppy and then back to child's pose. Again, walking the hands to one side and seeing how this stretch feels in child's pose compared to downward puppy. At the end of the day, you're going to have your body your whole life. So why not invest in it? Why not master it? Why not get to know it? Don't be afraid of it. You know, we're often so afraid of our tightness. Oh, I'm so tight. I hate stretching because I'm so tight. Well, guess what? If you weren't tight, then your head would spin around and you would break your neck. So for all of those people who don't feel comfortable stretching because they hate that they feel tight, celebrate your tightness, because without your tightness, imagine if your head was flopping around and you had to like hold it. I mean, you know, some people need a neck brace. So if you don't need a neck brace, it means that there is an advantage to your tightness. You know, our tightness is a way that our body prevents us from injury sometimes. It's all a balance, right? So being too tight, being too rigid can cause an injury, but being too flexible can also cause an injury. Now let's do our core. So we are going to start our 10 minutes of core. It has a heart because it's heart healthy. And although the meat of a yoga lesson could be anything, it could be whatever the basis is. I always have the meat be the core because I really believe in it. Because we do women's empowerment yoga, and I really believe that like when your core is strong, you're confident to ask for that promotion and you're confident to put your life back together should you need to. So I really, really like emphasizing the core. Okay, so let's do a sun salutation sequence, but like really emphasize the core. So we will, here, I'll come on this side. So I also don't want an injury from just twisting my neck on one side. So, you know, try to be cognizant of your daily routine and the repetitive movements that you make. And if you feel an injury or a tightness, maybe see, oh, can I brush my teeth with the other hand? Or what little changes can you make so that your actual ordinary routine can keep you healthy. So instead of you having to go to work and then after go to physical therapy, what if you changed your routine of going to work in a way that integrated your physical needs so that you didn't get injured or unbalanced in the first place, and so that you didn't need to spend extra time fixing it. You know, so much of society benefits from you having to go to extra things and pay extra money. Nobody benefits from you sleeping because you're not being a consumer at that time. However, sleep is what can cure so many things. Like, you don't necessarily need Sudafed, maybe you need sleep, or maybe you do need Sudafed. I'm not a doctor, I'm not here to give medical advice. Definitely do what your doctor said, but it's just, we all want quick fixes, and nobody's going to advocate for those fixes that actually don't cost you any money. We're a nonprofit, so I'm always advocating those. Okay, so let's do our core without further ado. So we'll start in Tadasana, but we'll really like zip it up and work it, okay? So now let's kind of do some jumps. Why do we do jumps? Because athletic position, whether it's basketball free throws, whether it's chair pose, whether it's skiing, athletic position is athletic position, and that works everything. So, and yoga can be athletic despite, stereotypes. Okay, so from Tadasana, we're pulling out our thighs. We're squeezing our glutes. We're zipping it up, engaging our core. Still breathing, still relaxing our shoulders, elevating our heels and bending our knees, tilting at the hip, still squeezing. I'm gonna come forward so that I don't, I can be more symmetrical. So your head is straight, your legs are straight, lifting up, engaging. See if you can tilt more forward. See if you can bend down more. Squeeze it, squeeze it, squeeze it. Arms overhead. Look at a spot. Squeeze it. Breathe. If you come out of it, go back into it. If it's not working for you, then kind of bounce around. Do those jumps like we did in the beginning. You can move your arms around. Like, I'm losing my balance because I'm not really breathing while I'm talking, so I'm using my arms to sort of distract me and find my balance again. Or maybe I'm swimming, I'm not sure. Just kidding. But, play around with it. Come down a little deeper if you can. Come out, shake it out. And now let's bounce with it again, like we're doing free throws. Okay, keeping it tight, squeezing it. Have some fun. Kick it up a little. Engage the core. This is the position. Now we do chair, flat-footed. Seems really easy now. Sit down a little deeper in your chair. Now come up. Now bring your arms behind you, like skier pose. See if it burns. If you come out of it, go back into it. You can bring your arms up again. Again, kind of like skier, like athletic position. Now, we come up again. This time, we're gonna bring our arms to heart center. And a little wobbly. So shake it out if you're like me and you can't do it. And we'll come back. We'll go a little deeper, sitting down more. If you feel a shake, then you're working it. But if you feel like you're gonna fall, stop. If the heels up is too much, you can bring them down. Engaging the core. Feeling your feet growing into the mat like tree roots. Thinking of our proverb, win in the arena, yield not to the aggressor. Guess who your ultimate opponent is? We went over this last time. It's yourself. So who's telling you to get out of this pose? Is it yourself? Is it your fears? Now, if it's an injury prevention, then that's good. Listen to your body. But decide who is the master and who is the opponent. Yield not to the aggressor when in the arena. And our proverb last week was, can you overcome your ultimate opponent? And we said that that's us. Our ultimate opponent is our own fears. Pain or injury is sharpshooting pain. Working your muscles is different than pain. One way to tell if you are on the road of injury or if you're on the road of muscle building is the feeling symmetrical. Generally, when we're building muscles, we feel the same sensation on both sides. When you feel it just on one side, that is generally an injury, and you should modify. Now, it's important when we do build muscles that we stretch to break down that lactic acid, and that we drink a lot of water. So I will encourage that after. Squeezing the glutes, squeezing the thighs, coming down, raising the heels if you can, losing my balance a little bit, trying to find a focal point, and just breathing into it, breathing into the shake if you feel it. Coming in and out of it as you need, doing the little jumps as a reset. Coming down a little lower if you can. Using your arms to distract you, maybe making hallelujah arms or skier arms. Remembering to engage your core. This is what we're all about. Core engagement. There's a lot more work to be done when we're holding still. A lot of what we do in life is push paper and make a big hoo-ha and seem really busy. But instead of creating, what if you focused on refining? What if we focus not on how many poses we do today, but on what we get out of each pose? What if we try to extract the maximum benefit from every pose we do today? Refine, repeat, rebuild. That's what we're all about at ShareLove.Fund. We limit the scope of yoga to 45 key share method poses. We repeat them and repeat them and repeat them until they are no-brainers in every graduate's tool belt. You don't need to master the world, you just need to master yourself. And with that comes self-mastery. Let's inhale, lean up, exhale, forward fold. Let's pedal out the feet. We're gonna walk our hands and feet back and do a calf stretch. Because this is the core, we're gonna turn that calf stretch into mountain climbers. Jumping up, inhale, exhale, stretch it out. Lifting your leg back Inhale to, I'm a little slippery here. Create me some heat. Inhale to warrior three. Bring the knee in, hug it. Bring it out for a stretch. Shake it out. Bring the other knee in, hug it. Bring it out for a stretch. Come back to warrior three. Try to lower your heart rate and calm down here. I don't know, I turn focus on, but I still get calls while I'm filming. So we're low tech at ShareLove.Fund. I just use my own phone. We're in warrior three. Sorry for the disruption. I don't know what it appears like when my phone rings. Okay, so from warrior three, we'll come out of it, shake it out. We'll come back to a chair power pose, but this time our feet grounded, coming lower. This is actually going to be a little bit of a calf stretch. Coming back to sphere, elevating, coming back down to chair, stepping back to warrior one, warrior two, reverse warrior. On the other side, warrior two, warrior one, which I forgot, it's live, so you get the real deal. No glamour shots here. Warrior one, warrior two, reverse warrior, also called humble warrior or peaceful warrior. Exhale, and we finished our core. Congratulations. So now is the treat that you worked so hard for, the cool down. So boop, cool down. So our last 10 minutes of class, it's going to be this cool down. So get comfortable and let's enjoy this. So we're going to stretch all those things we just worked. So come down to a comfortable place on the mat. If you're in the office or in a chair, you can modify this by, like if we're like this in a chair, you can put your feet on the chair if you can, or keep one leg on the ground and bring your knee in. Be creative. The really cool thing about humans is we have an infinite amount of creativity. You never will meet someone in their 90s that will say, oh, my biggest regret was I used my last idea up in the 70s. Nope, you can't use up your last idea. The cool thing about creativity is when you get into that creative flow, the ideas just keep coming. It's an infinite pool, and the more you tap into it, the more you get. So whatever your situation is, if you're on a train right now or on a plane, in the office or at home, you can modify this to serve you. So for those of you at home and on the mat though, let's bring our knees into chest. Let's give ourselves a big, big hug and try to grab a hold opposite elbows if you can, or your comfort level. So what we're trying to do here is we're trying to stretch the lateral muscles in our upper back. And then we're also stretching our hip flexors by bringing our knees in. So this may look like we're resting, but this actually can be a very deep stretch. We'll engage the core a little bit, bringing our legs in. To your comfort level, we'll try to stretch the hamstrings. You can bend your knees. Let's try to keep the back flat. So pull your chin into your chest and lay your neck back. And we're just going to try to do a hamstring stretch. Don't come up so much, because when you're coming up, you're straining your neck. So this is our cool down. So our cool down, we really want to relax. So our neck and shoulders, they are our VIPs. So really, you give yourself a little self-massage if you need to remind your neck and shoulders that they are off duty. So keeping your neck and shoulders off duty, then stretch your hamstrings to the degree that you can without imposing on your neck and shoulders. Here, try to also keep your tailbone down. So like for me, when I touch my toes, my tush lifts up. So I'm not flexible enough to do that. So I need to bend one knee to do it. Maybe you need to bend both knees. But we're trying to get a little bit of a hamstring stretch while keeping our spine completely connected to the mat. You can bring the knees in and out to the side, and then to happy baby. Again, keeping the spine totally connected to the mat. So in this, you can get a little deeper stretch, grabbing your heels. If it's too much of a stretch, you can just do happy baby on one side, or maybe you want to get a little deeper into it. You can always get a little deeper when you isolate. Isometrics, doing it on one side, but then it also is a little bit more time consuming because you have to do it on the other side. So it's a trade-off, but you can do different things. So this is an example of how one of our 45 key poses is happy baby, yet you can get a lot more out of it by doing it on one side or the other to make it feel like another pose. You can also bring your elbows in just to kind of look cool, like you have a lot of hands, I don't know. But also get a little deeper of a stretch. Here, we'll cross the legs, bringing one leg down, the other leg across. You can straighten it with this shoulder on the mat, eyes away from your leg. Trying to get a twist. Bringing the knee in, giving it a hug, and bringing the other leg down, the other leg across. Maybe putting a hand here to make it go down more. Bringing the knees in, giving yourself a little rock back and forth. Inhaling up to shoulder stand. Walking the legs back if that feels comfortable. You can have your arms in front like plow. This is stretching your back of your neck and upper body. You can do plow against a wall if that is more comfortable. So for example, I don't know, it's live, so I haven't really done this, but yeah, this would be a way to not go as far back and have a wall support you. You can try it with someone spotting you. A lot of times these things are scary, so people will criticize themselves for not wanting to try it. But I tell my teenagers, I say, the same fear that makes you not want to try a handstand is the same fear that is going to keep you safe not getting into a drunk driver's car. So let's not criticize ourselves for being inflexible, because we wouldn't want our neck to spin around like an owl, because we would be injured. And sometimes when we're afraid of things, it's actually a safety impulse. So someone who might be afraid of doing a handstand might also be the same person who doesn't want to take a risk at a high school party, and that could be a lifesaver. So let's just embrace who we are and what we're doing. We'll come back into plow, really engaging the stomach, doing one leg, see if we get a little deeper, slowly bringing it up again. This really works the stomach, bringing it back down. Inversions can also be very, very restorative. We'll bring it up again. And we're all goddesses here at ShareLove.Fund, or gods. So we'll sort of do like a upside down goddess pose, restorative. From here, we'll bring it back up to plow, slowly coming it back down. Walking our feet to the opposite edges of the mat, doing windshield wiper, back and forth. Putting one leg on top of the other, and doing another sort of stretch. And on the other side. Doing a twist, but bringing both knees into the chest, and then twisting this way, crossing the legs for a little deeper of a stretch. Kind of observing how this twist feels from the last. Is it deeper or not? On the other hand, crossing and doing a twist on the other side. Is this deeper or not from the scissor twist? And just letting your body fall into it. When you feel ready, giving yourself a big self-love hug, little rock, back and forth, rolling out the spine. And when you feel ready, come up, invigorated, feeling like goddesses. We'll conclude this class by saying namaste. That's not a religious thing. That is just, or maybe it is for some people, but at ShareLove.Fund, we're teaching people to be yoga teachers, and classes traditionally end with saying namaste. It's a cue to let people know that class is over. Namaste. May the light in me be the light in you. I encourage everyone to email ShareLove.Fund. I'm going to look for my yellow card. To teach for a cause. So all of you are going to earn yoga teaching degrees, but it's nice to have some experience. One of the great things nonprofits provide is they hire people as volunteers with really no experience because, we really have no bargaining power. We're a nonprofit, and all our money pretty much goes to programming. So 100% of donor dollars go to programming. All admin expenses the board of directors pays for. So we really depend on our volunteer, unpaid Teach for a Cause teachers. But this is a great way to build your own class following and do some karma yoga and just gain experience on the job. Because we're not paying, we also, can't complain. So anything you give, we're super, super appreciative of. The incarcerated women are so appreciative. They also really, really, really love outdoor 10-minute yoga flows. I can't really provide them because I live in a noisy environment. I have 3 kids. It's hard for me to film outdoors. If anybody watching this wouldn't mind making a 10-minute yoga flow video outside, the incarcerated women we serve love it. They really, really appreciate it. You can even get a tax deduction for it. It's a gift in kind donation. When you donate a video, you can value it. We can write you a letter saying thank you for your tax deductible video of this value. I'm not here to give tax advice. Your tax deduction is in accordance of US tax law, but we are an IRS verified 501c3 charity, and donations, gratuitous donations to us, including donations of service, such as teaching, donations of your time, such as, giving the service of your time, like teaching, and also the actual product of the video. Those are gift in kind donations, and those are tax deductible. So I know I've just been talking about this a lot, but we would really, really appreciate it. Like, you could go in your backyard and make a 10-minute yoga workout, and you get the benefit of having worked out. And you can also get the benefit of a tax deduction. And for an incarcerated woman that we serve, when they see all these fresh faces making videos for them, they feel like someone has not locked them up and thrown away the key. They think, oh my God, this stranger with this beautiful backyard cares about me? Then I better start caring about myself, and I better learn this stuff and get this degree and start being a tax-paying citizen and not a ward of the state, so I can feed my family and reconnect with my kids and so show social services what I'm all about. I want to tell you that I'm very, very, very impressed with the Women's Programming Division at Rikers Island Jail. They're awesome. They do so much integration with social services. They're constantly working on programming. We've received communications from them on holidays, on weekends. These women are working really, really hard, but they're also working on a budget. So they really appreciate that we at ShareLove.Fund provide fresh daily content in Spanish and English in the form of 10-minute videos that we upload to a shared Google Drive. If you want to contribute to that video bank, that really, really, really helps save lives, rebuild lives, which matters to you because it makes the world that you live in safer when we reduce recidivism. Plus you get a workout, plus you can even get a tax deduction. It still costs us money at ShareLove.Fund to process the videos, to review them, to make sure there's no swear words or something that could be inappropriate, that could make us lose our contract. And so on top of that, it also really helps us if we can build a broad base of $10 a month donors. We don't need $1 million. We are totally virtual and on demand. I'm the CEO and founder. I work for free. Our officers don't get paid any money for being officers, and our board of directors underwrites all administrative expenses. But it would be really nice for us to be able to hire one of our program graduates who needs a job, and they could have the job of reviewing videos and sending them to Rikers. And that could be a minimum wage job, and that job could be funded by us having a few $10 a month donors. So I would really, really encourage you, like this is what I know this is a long talk, but you know what, you can change the channel if you want to, but I'm saying this because it's really important. Your time is valuable, but so is mine. And I'm saying this because it's really important. I want to tell you what I tell my closest friends. This is what I tell my closest friends. If you don't want to donate to any charity, that's fine. Because at ShareLove.Fund, we can live within our means. So we don't have office space. We don't have overhead. So every donation we get, we put to work. So if we get less donations, it means we do less outreach. But it doesn't mean we can't pay our bills. At ShareLove.Fund, we live within our means. Okay, so more donations means more outreach. But either way, we're a solid company because we budget properly. But this is what I tell my friends. If you're not going to donate to any charity, then that's fine. Not everybody is into philanthropy. But if you are deciding what charity will use my money most wisely, then there is no other charity that I am aware of, and I'm an attorney and I've done the research, there's no other charity that I'm aware of that stretches donor dollars further. And if you believe I'm wrong, then I kindly ask you to please direct me to a charity that does it better. Because my number one goal is to be the most efficient charity, because I value every penny we receive as if it is my own. And so if you believe someone does it better, please educate me about it so that I can learn from them, because we're constantly optimizing and striving to improve. But basically, for people that want to make a difference, ShareLove.Fund is the only operating charity that I know of that gives 100 cents of the dollar of every donor dollar to programming. Well, you might say that's not true. So basically, the way I got this idea was from the Robin Hood Foundation. The Robin Hood Foundation is really, really, really awesome in New York City. I'm personally a donor of the Robin Hood Foundation, and I believe in them. And they give 100% of every dollar to charity, and their board of directors underwrites all administrative expenses. So you might tell me, hey, it sounds like you do the same as Robin Hood. So why do you say you're the only one? Well, Robin Hood is like a fund of funds. It's a charity that collects money and gives grants to other charities. Like ShareLove.Fund has applied to Robin Hood for a grant. We haven't got it, but that's fine. I still believe Robin Hood is awesome. Most charities that actually do the work, they can't give 100 cents on the dollar to programming because they have to operate and they have a lot of operating expenses. So our charity is really unique that we are actually on the ground doing the work, but giving 100 cents of the dollar to programming. So how do we do that? We do that because we are a tech-heavy company. We don't have any physical space. All our classes are online. We realize that we don't need to pay for Zoom, for example, when we do live on YouTube, because YouTube is free. But even better, YouTube actually pays us because we're monetizing on YouTube. So while I'm teaching this class on YouTube, instead of me paying $15 a month for Zoom, while I'm teaching this class, I'm actually earning money for the charity just by being a content provider for YouTube. So what we have done is we have used an AI high-tech approach to harness the existing economic forces to our advantage to create the most optimized program we can so that we can reach tens and thousands of people and provide yoga degrees on a mass scale for a very low cost, because it costs us nothing for digital replication. I know this is a lot of information, but I'm just going to give you these nuts and bolts because it's so important. If you are giving to a charity because you actually want to make a difference, we can do more with a single penny than anyone else can. That's why all we ask for is $10 a month, because that's amazing. We can build a life on $10 a month. So please consider that. This is not $1 a day like Save the Children who has money for commercials. We don't have money for commercials. We have a CEO working for free holding a sign that she made, because our money actually goes into certifying incarcerated women and training high school leaders to be part of our community service program, which also teaches for a cause. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. Namaste. Have a blessed day.